On the open governance side, transparency is the idea that actions are visible in some sense, in more of like a data sense, to what's going on. Now we have to balance this with privacy rights, okay? So the fact that I walk around with a cell phone in my pocket, an incredibly powerful computer compared to previous generations, which is both receiving and transmitting data all the time, is saying something about my day-to-day life.
Okay.
Every step I've taken on my commute here this morning to all my actions in this building and when I go home is being tracked by that device.
Yes.
Now, we have to balance that with my privacy rights and everybody's privacy rights. But at the same time, there's a certain transparency to that. So I like to give the example in the municipal setting. So the city here, City of Regina, could do transportation planning. And the way they've done it in the past is they put these little rubber tubes on the road that when a car drove over the tube, using a air pressure, it counted that a car went over. And it counted when a car went over in the other direction, and it counted when it went around the corner. And then we would take all that data that was counted in these little boxes that were captured at the side of the road, and it would do some fancy math. And then we would essentially make predictions, observations and predictions about transportation.
Yeah.
Well, today what we can do, and what cities are doing, is they can, for about $75,000, invest in a device which sits at the side of the road, and it counts when a Bluetooth signal from a phone, from a car, from what have you, goes past that signal. It uniquely identifies the signal, but it doesn't identify the person. So when my phone goes by that box, if I'm in a car, if I'm on a bus, or if I'm walking, it's captured in that device. Now, if I put 100 of these devices around the city, I can have a real-time map of transportation plans, transportation activity that's going on with all these little dots moving around the city. And I can start to draw maps and make inferences about, oh, if we change some stoplights here, if we close a road, if we open up a new road, here's how things are going to change. That transparency of activity, because I'm a member of society, I'm carrying a device which has been partly paid for through the infrastructure that we have, is my kind of contribution to transparency. At the same time, it protects my privacy, at least I believe it does, because that signal is not tracking me as an individual, it's simply tracking my phone as a thing